Okay, we are going to be making hummus. Right here. Let me turn the lights on. It's pretty simple. This time we're going to be adding some basil to it. So we have this recipe we're going to be following. But first we have to start by getting out the tahini. Okay, we can get that out. We have lots of tahini. So, this is a quick, simple recipe to make. We need 1/4 of a cup. We have our 1/4 of a cup right here. We're not going to be needing this. To get 1/4 of a cup, it requires this first, then it requires the lemon. So we can shake this, but I think we're good. All right, so let's put that in. It's our bowl. We will take this lemon and cut it up. Okay. Get the lemon out. Squeeze it into the bowl just like this. A lot of seeds, and that is a bit of a struggle, but we got those removed pretty easy. Sometimes it doesn't always work like that. We can put this in here. Alright, real quick, let's do that. Alright, so this is a juicy lemon, which is pretty good. We got another lemon here. Yeah, so we'll just do the whole lemon, and I know this needs to be mixed, so we do this really quickly, and then we still have a lot of seeds. That is the unfortunate part. And a lot of them came out without me even realizing it. That is a potential challenge when working with lemons. So, yeah, this has a lot of. We could have shown my juicer, but we got a lot of juice out of this anyway. This is a lot more juice than I thought from the lemon. So this is going to be lemony. In fact, very lemony. I'm going to actually try to scoop out with this little spoon lemon seeds. So, a lot of utensils being used. Yeah, I don't think this was a great idea. We can get like a little bit here. So, let's take this out. And now, even though we don't, let's stir this because, you see a little preoccupation coming by. I guess I've never properly stirred it quite like this, so we'll put that here. Okay, just to make sure that we don't have. I wonder if we're supposed to have lemon juice in addition to a lemon. Lemon juice process for about 1 minute. Scrape the sides of the bowl, but we process this. We don't really process it for a minute. Wow, it's already. Looks like something. We have not even done it yet. So now we're going to have to get the... Wow, it is interesting, when I've done it before. I've actually made sure to stir this around. It becomes really interesting with its consistency. So we're almost there. Now we got to take the olive oil, minced garlic, and cumin, so let's take a look at what we need for the olive oil. to restart, but we'll try to see this quickly. 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Okay. This is tablespoons. All right, let's do that. All right, so we have to got that. We'll have to get the half a teaspoon of ground cumin. Let's get that in here.
Closet. I'm gonna put all these groceries away. It's too hot out. Am I on that thing?
We'll get the groceries going in. We'll do half a teaspoon. Yeah, half a teaspoon of cumin. And then we'll do a quick pause. And there's also a little bit of salt that we need to do as well. Half a teaspoon of salt. So let's get that going. We'll actually try the sea salt to see if it's a little better. It's a little more messy with the salt. Salt dissolves, but. So we actually have a little more salt here. That is potentially good. Let's get back to that. And we'll pause this and we'll see. All right, we're back. And this is an interruption. This is what we sometimes deal with. Luckily we have this, so it's easier to get back into it. But, minced garlic. Oh, so we need a little bit of the garlic. So we're going to get that going. Lemon juice. All right, let's get the garlic. Another spoon has to come out. So, let's see here. I don't know if we needed more, but we're going to chance it. The garlic with our hummus. So, we won't have too much. Let's wrap this around. And there you have it. Let's stir this up. I don't know what we're going to be doing when it comes to the basil that we want to add. There's also discussion to potentially add olives, but I'm gonna skip on that this time. So now that we got this in, let's pour. All right, so let's move some of our stuff. Let's actually put some of the tahini and the olive oil away. We can get it out of the way here. Okay, let's do that. We got that. And then we use this little bowl for the aquafaba now. So we're going to do that's just up to the top. And let's use this knife to open. So a little fine motor here to open this up. Alright, so we drain the aquafaba first. Oh, we made a little mix up. But I don't think it's too terrible because maybe I opened it a little too much, too fast. But either way, so drain the aquafaba, Oh, so that's there because we're going to need to add water. So now we're going to add a little bit. We're going to start to add our chickpeas. I'll get a little lower from the mix than we should. Some. Because that's what it says. You got to do some. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this, since we don't have the food processor, we're going to take the potato masher and we're going to mash it up. So it looks very messy, but we'll have some of these napkins, these paper towels. Let's sit down and we'll do this. And maybe you can watch and you can see how this works. All right, let's get this in. We still have from the tahini, from everything. And then we'll see, how do we do the basil? There's talk of maybe cut it. So that's an interesting cutting scenario or setting, I kind of don't feel like doing the cutting of the basil. We could. Maybe we will. It is washed. I did pre-wash it. So you do this, and we'll add, you know, I don't know how heavy you want to make it. And then, so we can add in, like it says, a little bit of, let's start by adding some aquafaba into it. Remember, aquafaba is just the chickpea juice. I learned that from Lost Renegades, a YouTube channel. It's very typical. So, alright, you see it's a little loose. Still very much, you know, very soupy. I guess we got to get down to the correct texture. And let's finish adding, you know, our chickpeas. Okay, so we're gonna add, and there's still a little aquafaba. Unfortunately, that should just come in. So hopefully we didn't add too much of that. And now, let me add, you know what, we will try to cut some of the basil. A little, I'm not sure how this tastes, but I know there is basil hummus, which you got for a little bit. And yeah, so this is hard to cut. You know, we're going to use this type of knife. I don't know if you can see. I don't want to waste it all because, believe it or not, we are kind of in basil. You know, they'll just have to grow. This is fresh basil, so we're cutting it the best we can. Let's dump this in, and we'll continue mixing. You know, this was tough. This was a tough one. So we can rip a little bit here, whole leaf. You know, so you're seeing a little more motor issues today, executive function. And let's start to continue because hopefully this will add a lot. Let's hit it down. Alright, here is what we're doing. We made the chickpea aquafaba, and now, do we have enough? So we definitely seem to have enough aquafaba. We just want to, just that basil is getting a little tough, and you can see it splashing all over the place, so it does create some issues. I don't know if we want to add hot stuff to it this time. We're going to do it because of the basil. I don't know how much we'll taste it. I don't know how much it needs because we're kind of going off recipe here. Yeah, making a little more of a mess this time, but we will clean it. You'll watch that process. You know, it's like, at what point is this all, you know, hard? At what point does this go well? I'm not quite sure. I think I taste the salt a little more this time. So I have to stir this around. And we could probably so let's so I want to say we're kind of done here. Yeah, so I think this is of a decent consistency. There's always that question of how much is too much, what should we be doing? If we even want to pick out this aquafaba and get an extra little 3 chickpeas, we'll do that. You know, just to make it more substantive. But otherwise, I think we are good. You know, good consistency. Maybe a little, like now I'm getting into that anxiety. Yeah, so we'll add a little bit more of the aquafaba, loosen it up. Alright. But we're probably fine here. This is doable. Because it's like, how much and then we're done. You know, hopefully this will cool, collect, and condense. So, it is done. Let's put this in the sink. Let's clean our stuff up in the sink before we, and we'll clean up off camera. But you can see, here is our hummus. Right here. Yeah, so let's clean up quickly. Let's put this stuff in the sink. We'll clean off camera. And then. Alright. Let's wipe this stuff up. Yeah, so we'll throw the lemons away, then we'll wipe with this. We conserve materials. And so yeah. Alright, let's try to wipe. I mean, we probably could spray more and wipe the table. Alright, and so what we do is we will throw the top of this can out, rinse this briefly, and then throw it in the recyclable. Put this stuff away, put the cumin away, put the garlic away. Alright. And here you have some fresh hummus. Very good tasting. Definitely tastes the lemon.